In this discussion, we will discuss the discussion question of discuss the components of the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the CAFR. If we see a discussion question or essay question like this, we typically want to put more information down if possible, if time allows, that making it more likely that we're going to touch on those concepts that are being looked for to give points for within an essay question, and more likely to add new information to a discussion question to get the most points there. Keeping this in mind, let's take a look at this one more time. Discuss the components of the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the CAFR. If we see a discussion question like this, our goal probably is first to just define what the CAFR is and list its components. That's probably the best place to start with an essay question, pick up the most points that way, as well as with a discussion question when we want to add detail to it or add new information to a discussion question. However, we might want to take a step back and then start to think about, all right, who makes the CAFRs? What's the purpose of the CAFR? What's the end goal of the CAFR? And you could take a step back and say, well, these type of things are going to be applicable to governmental accounting as opposed to for-profit accounting. And you can then talk about for-profit accounting versus governmental accounting, why governmental accounting has different type of rules than the for-profit, including rules with regards to the reporting requirements such as the CAFR, and then get into the CAFR type information. We also want to take a step back with the CAFR and compare it to the minimum requirements, because the first thing you want to think when you see the comprehensive annual financial reports is that they're usually something that at this point not always required to do them. That's going kind of above and beyond. There's going to be a set format for doing them and regulations in terms of how to help to do them properly. However, they're oftentimes going to be more than what is the minimum required that is needed. So the first thing you might want to touch on is say, hey, these are going above and beyond. Most of governmental entities do that and have that more information, but you may first want to list the minimum requirements. The minimum financial reporting requirements are going to include the MD&A, otherwise known as the Management's Discussion and Analysis, which is going to be part of the required supplemental information. It's going to be a key component. Then we have the basic financial statements, and we have the required supplementary information that includes the MD&A and other required supplementary information. So that's going to be the minimum type of requirements. Then we want to think about, all right, the comprehensive annual financial report typically is more comprehensive. It goes above and beyond that. When you think about the CAFR, you want to think about three components related to it. We have one component. The first part is the introductory section. Then we have the financial section. The financial section is going to include some of the same financial information we would have in the minimum requirements. And then we have the statistical section. That's going to be kind of the launching point that you want to get into whenever you see anything on the comprehensive annual financial reports. They're above and beyond the minimum. What are the minimum requirements? What are the three components of this report? And then you can go on for a long time, of course, from there, listing out all the activity within the components of this report, comparing and contrasting them possibly from what is included in terms of the required minimum requirements, and then giving examples possibly for actual reports.